It has been a hot minute since I have done any kind of ranking or review roundup on my channel, so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna be talking about quite a lot of products, things that I have been putting to the test, seeing if these are good or not, and I'm gonna let you know which ones I love and which ones I'm expecting to declutter at the end of the year. If you have not been here before, hello, my name is Angie. I am 40 years old and I live in Austin, Texas, and I have oily combo skin. Clearly, these things are gonna affect how I feel about things. I also am more into dramatic eye makeup, and I really love more a light skin that is very glowy but not greasy. We're gonna talk about that as well. I did film this look for Instagram. This is with the new Nude Trolls by Cosmic Brushes. This palette I think is live, and I think this makeup look might be live on Instagram/TikTok as well. I also will be having soon a best and worst of 2024 so far, because we have some real winners when we have some sour losers. We are gonna start at the bottom, which are things that I really don't recommend. And then we're just gonna work our way up to my new holy grail products. And I'm gonna try my best to explain why I like something and why I don't like something. Because sometimes the reason why I don't like something, or vice versa, could be the exact reason why you would feel different. This one though, these are the new Complexion Rescue Blonzers and Highlighting Blushes. These are the liquid ones from bareMinerals. I bought these myself and then they sent all of them to me in PR, and I feel a little bad because I really don't like these. The powdered versions I love. They're so beautiful and glowy, and you can sheer them out, you can build them up. They're stunning. Really love them. If you just look at these and you put them on the skin, you're like, this looks good. These are so sticky though. Like, they're sticky to a point where it's like unwearable. Even if you like dewy makeup, even if you have dry skin, these are straight up glue. Why would you want that? There are so many products that I could recommend above these, and I will when we get further into this video. These just aren't it. And I also will say this packaging is not ideal either, because this it looks like you're getting a lot of product in here, but these are not filled with product, and I would have preferred if they would have used some other kind of like packaging for these to make them make more sense, because this is just an almost empty tube of glue with shimmer. Next one is going to be something that I know a lot of people really love, but let me explain why I don't love this one. And I'm going to pop up a picture here where you can see how this one just oxidizes into something totally different. I got this one. This is the Soft Lift Foundation by Fenty. This is the new foundation that is like a little glowy. I got mine in 280. I would say that I'm a light medium with a neutral undertone that's leading a little golden. This one dries down very dark. Not only does it dry down darker, it also oxidizes. So it's just really hard to get the right shade. At least for me, the shade that I bought, it looks beautiful when I put it on, but then I look like Barba Papa. If you know, you know. I just look like a little Miss Piggy. It turns so peachy pink on me, a shade that there's no way that I would buy, because I do not have a pink undertone. It just looks super peachy on me, and it looks too dark, and it just looks weird. I don't mind how the foundation sits on, but I just have a really hard time with foundations that oxidize like that, because I'm like, what shade am I supposed to wear? Especially when it turns that peachy, because now we're like in a different undertone, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to buy? So if you were looking to get this foundation, swatch it in store, wear it around the store a little bit and see how it changes, because for me, what I get when it dries down is just not the shade that I would have bought. I also really didn't like this one. This is the Wet n Wild Niacinamide Skin Tint. This one has 5% niacinamide, which is something that my skin really likes. I like a skin tint, but this one looks... the pigment doesn't go on evenly on the skin. It almost looks a little patchy on the skin. I've had another skin tint that didn't look good on my skin either. I just didn't love this one, and it also turns incredibly glowy on me. Again, I have combo oily skin. I live in a very warm and humid climate, and this one just did not work out on me at all. It turned extremely glowy, but it also didn't look good to begin with. So this one was just it was just weird. I'm gonna put this one here, and I don't mind this one. This is the NYX Blur Screen Blurring Primer Sunscreen in 30. This does not blur or work as a primer on me at all. For me, this works like any other face sunscreen, and I think the marketing people were just they were marketing away over in their marketing dungeon. They're like, let's call it a primer and let's see if we can sell more sunscreen because they're a makeup company and not like a skincare company. But for me, there is nothing blurring about this. For me, this performs just like any other sunscreen, which is great. I'm gonna use it as sunscreen, but I'm not gonna use it as a makeup primer because it has that slightly, for me, again, combo oily skin, that slightly sunscreeny, greasy feeling. So I have to approach this like a sunscreen and not like a primer. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't agree that it is a blurring primer. I'm gonna put these products by Made by Mitchell here together. I have a slew of other products from the brand that I actually really like that we'll talk about in a bit, but I tried a full face of Made by Mitchell. I'll see if I will link all the products that I talk about down below in case you're interested. My links will be affiliated, and if you do shop through my links or use my affiliated codes, thank you so much for supporting my channel. It really does help out. These products are the ones that I really didn't like for the brand. I really don't think that these were especially good, and I am surprised that people were hyping these products up the way that they did. This is the Bronze Pods. For me, and I've used this bronzer and I've tried to use this in several different ways. This is a glowy bronzer that just makes my skin look dirty. I don't like a super pigmented bronzer, but this also is very glowy and very pigmented, and it looks like I went in with an eyeshadow and it just makes me look like I need a shower. Didn't love it. This skin tint actually looks really good, but not if you have like any kind of oily skin. It looks extremely glowy on me. Like it looked like I had mixed butter with my foundation. These are the blush and blush and highlighter, no, blush and bronze sticks. Beautiful colors, but it is like a super thick, almost sticky, waxy feeling. They're very thick and like almost tuggy, and something about them just feels like a sticky, again, a glue stick. This is a glue stick. You are going straight in with the Elmer's glue stick with color, and it stays tacky, and it's not for me. There are so many good, there's so many good sticks. Are they though? Like, one could argue no. There's so many good cream products on the market now. Literally every brand under the sun is coming out with cream products. Don't get some of the bad ones. Like, there are so many good ones. You don't need these. These aren't good. I'm sorry. I said what I said. Don't come for me. I'm gonna put this one here. I don't necessarily hate this one. I just don't think this really does enough. This is the e.l.f. Stay Cool Primer Stick. This isn't cooling. It is a slightly smoothing, moisturizing without being greasy primer, but I would never choose this over any other primer in my collection unless I was at a limit of like how much liquids can I bring. Like if I'm out traveling and I'm like, oh, I really want to bring a primer and I'm at full capacity when it comes to liquids, I could bring this one. But really, I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for something cooling, this is not that. It's a little gimmicky. It's not offensive, but also like, I don't know how much this was, like $5 or something, $6. I don't know. e.l.f. is usually affordable. You can get a nice coffee for that. I'd prefer to get a coffee instead of this one, like right now. I'd like a dirty chai, please, with skim milk. Let me talk about some new lip liners. Yes, I'm just literally, this is a bouquet of lip liners. Okay. All of these lip liners I don't like because I don't like the consistency. They go on too thick. This one from Kosas, I'm wearing this one today. This is the Kosas Hot Liner. It's very, like, it goes on like almost like a waxy thick crayon. There's not really anything wrong with it, but it doesn't dry down. It stays sticky. And I don't want the lip liner to do that. I want a lip liner to keep stuff in my lips. I don't want it to be sticky. This one, it's sticky. I don't like it. Both of these, this is the So Juicy lip liners by Colourpop. I have two colors, and I also have the two new colors of the Lifter liners by Maybelline. These are affordable lip liners. Both of these are, according to me, too creamy. They're almost like a lipstick in a slim packaging, which makes it really hard to be precise with them. You're gonna use them up very, very quickly. And they're also like not doing what they're supposed to do, keeping the lip colors within the lip line. It's just, according to me, too creamy, too thick, and I don't like any of these formulas. Not my favorites at all. If you're looking for some favorites, I really like the ABH one, and the Makeup by Mario ones are amazing. If you're looking for some good ones from the drugstore, I'm trying to think, which ones do I have to recommend from the drugstore? I think that NYX Slim Lip Liners are really, really good, but I'm like, do they still make those? If they do, those are really good if you're looking for affordable ones. Oh, the new e.l.f. ones. They're slightly creamy, but not overly creamy. Those are nice too. I wish they would come out with more colors. Last one in this bucket of stuff that I just really don't like is a bronzer that I'm wearing today. And this is the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer. First time I used this, I didn't really like it. Mine came broken. Mine looks like cat poop. I repressed mine and I've been trying to use this a bit, and I've been listening to other people's reviews of this one as well, because I was like, wait, mine is way too pigmented to be a bronzer that I like. It almost again goes on like an eyeshadow. But I've been listening to other people's reviews of this because I was thinking, when I repressed this, did it accidentally become too loosely pressed? Is that why it's too pigmented? But I hear other people talking about this one, and the reason why they love it is because they're like, oh, it's so pigmented. So I think it's meant to be this pigmented. I'm just telling you, I don't love that. I want a bronzer that's a little bit easier to work with, because this is BAM pigment straight out of the gate, which is not my favorite when it comes to bronzers. There's nothing wrong with this one. There's a little bit of a sheen to it. I mean, I have 3 glowy products layered on my skin today. I have 4 glowy products layered on my skin today. We'll talk about them in a bit. But this one is too pigmented to be a favorite for me. If you love a super pigmented bronzer, this will be for you. If you're like me and you don't like that, I'd stay away from this one, even though it's affordable. Because again, you could get a nice coffee. How much is this? I think you can get a nice coffee. This one might even be a bit more. You might even be able to get some whipped cream on this one. Now we're moving into products that are really good products, but they're not going to be like my favorite products. And I'm gonna start with the Omni, I think it's called Omni Lash. This is the mascara from Money Cosmetics. This is a nice mascara. It is a classic, like gives your mascara a little bit of volume and a little bit of like just color and length. But this isn't the kind of mascara I like. I like a plastic bristle, and I like a mascara that's a little bit more lengthening than this one. But I've seen some people really, really enjoying this mascara. So I think mascara is so individual. So I would say if you like the same mascaras as I do, you might not like this one. And I feel the same about this one. This is the Lash Clash by YSL. This is also a very voluminizing mascara, and I do love that this is blue. So this one I'm definitely going to be using, and I'm going to be using this to top off other mascaras, like as a second mascara after using a lengthening mascara, because I do love how opaque this blue is. It is a really nice, like covers the entire lash. I just prefer a mascara that's a little bit more lengthening and curling. And again, if you like the same kind of mascaras that I do, this might not be a favorite. Another thing that I think a lot of people will like, but these are not the right colors for me, are the new bronzers by Unearthly Cosmetics. These are the high temp bronzers. This is the medium one, and you can see it's leaning a little bit more on the rosy tone. And again, if you're looking for something like that, a bronzer that has a slight rosy undertone, this might be for you. And this is the light one. Again, there is a little like a rosy tone in here. So for me, these do not look like the right tone on my skin. They are glowy bronzers. They're really pretty. Again, they're the kind of bronzer that doesn't go on super pigmented. You can build them up. They are very glowy though. They're just not the right undertone for me. But I love the packaging, and I really love Unearthly Cosmetics. These are just not the right bronzer undertone. A bronzer that is the right undertone for me, but I have other qualms with, is the Giorgio Armani bronzer. I think this one is called Luminous Silk Bronzing Powder. So this is part of the Luminous Silk line. It is stunning. It is truly a beautiful bronzer, but I think you can even see, oh my God. Welcome back to 2015. This is your final warning, you're entering a time machine. This bronzer, I think you can see, it has like golden specks in it. It like straight up glitter. It is a glowy bronzer that is a really good undertone. I have number 90, which I think is the lightest shade. It's a really nice golden but not orange undertone. It looks beautiful on the skin. It's not too pigmented, but those glitter particles, they show up on your skin like you have been making out with the Christmas bauble. It is not ideal. It is not what I'm looking for, especially not in a bronzer from Giorgio Armani that cost me an arm and a leg, the blood of a virgin, and the promise of my firstborn child. Why is this filled with like glitter specks, like actual like specks of glitter? Do not understand. Love everything else about it, not that. These I think are beautiful, but they're just not perfect for me. Hear me out. These are the new blushes by Nabla. This one is Close-Up Blushes in Satisfaction. This is brownie one. This is the one I've been using the most. And then it is in Paradise. I have a little bit of this on today because I couldn't help it. I've been using so many things on my skin. These are beautiful. The packaging is stunning. There are so many more colors. There's some deep ones, there's some light ones, there's some poppy ones, there's some muted ones. They're really pretty, but they are hyper matte. Hyper matte to a point, well, you can see. I love a glassy cheek, but if you love a matte blush and if Nabla is readily accessible for you and you like the colors they come up with, they're really nice. I don't want a super matte cheek ever. I'm just never gonna go for that. And it is so much easier to get an even application of blush when it's a little bit of shimmer in it. The pearl helps with the blend. So for me, a matte blush is never gonna be my favorite. If you are looking for a matte blush, Kajsa snälla. But if you are looking for a matte blush, that might be a good one for you. I can't get on board with it. There's nothing wrong with it. I can't fall in love with an all matte blush. At least not where I'm at right now with my makeup journey. These are two products that I both think are really nice, and I'm putting these here because I like these for what they are, and I think these are good quality, but when am I gonna use these? This is the bronzing drops by e.l.f. I've tried a couple of different bronzing drops, and this one is pretty pigmented, and it actually does what it's supposed to do. And if you actually want a bronzing drop that shows up, I think this is a good one. I've used it as a liquid bronzer. I have used it to mix in with my foundation. I have used it to mix in with my moisturizer. It actually does what it's supposed to do. It works really good, and it's an affordable product. I do recommend it. Again, how often do I use that? Not often enough, I'm gonna be honest with you. And it's the same with this one. This is the Makeup Revolution Bright Light 4-in-1 Face Glow. Listen, I'm gonna take out the applicator and you're gonna be like, oh, it's that kind of a product. We all know what I'm talking about here. It's one of those like Hollywood Flawless Finish, face glow, sheer coverage. What I will say, this is probably the best affordable formulation that I've tried. It's way better than the one from e.l.f. because this is not sticky and greasy and yucky like the one from e.l.f. This works better. So I do prefer this one. How often do I use it? Not that often, because I don't like my skin to look this glossy. And actually, as we're talking about this makeup, I've had this makeup on for about an hour and I am so glowy. I powdered my entire face, but this Lisa Eldridge skin tint, it is beautiful when you apply it, but boy, is this not made for oily combo skin. If you don't want your skin to look very, very dewy within the first hour, and this will progress over the day, because I have worn this for 12 hours and I looked like I have been actually like bacon in an oven with butter. I was so greasy, it was crazy. If you love a skin tint and you have dry skin and you love a dewy finish, maybe this is for you. But if you like the same things as me, this is gonna be way too dewy for you. I recommend this for dry skin, or if you want to look very dewy. But I'm also telling you, this level of dew is after 1 hour and powdering my entire face. There's only downhills from here. So maybe not for the oily skin gals. This is the new liquid lipstick formulation from Juvia's place, and while I like this one, there's nothing wrong with this one. This one dries down completely. It actually doesn't crumble or crack on your lips. It doesn't feel excessively drying on your lips. With that being said, I do not suffer from dry lips that much. So it is a nice liquid lipstick formulation, but still, it feels very 2016. And I was kind of hoping when Juvia's place was going to come up with a new formulation of liquid lipsticks, was that they were going to elevate it a little bit and make it a little 2024, like, you know, come into the future and make it one of those nice moussey formulas that like Kaleidos have done, ABH has done, so many different brands have done. This is not that. If you're looking for those new, fresh, modern moussey formulas, this is not that. It's not a bad formula, but I was kind of hoping for something else. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of sick and tired of these click lipsticks. I say as I'm gonna talk about 2 in a row. These are the new ones from Colourpop. These are the So Juicy ones. These are supposed to be a little plumping. They don't hurt on the lips that much. They tingle a little bit. I just think that these are a little goopy. But if you like the Tarte ones, you'll like these. They're more affordable. They're very similar in formulation. I don't mind the packaging. I like that there are more affordable options. I'm over every brand feeling like they need to do everything. Where's the innovation? I need brands to have a brand identity. Just sometimes, of course, like great minds think alike and people release the same thing at the same time, but sometimes it becomes a little obvious, and I'm kind of tired of these click sticks. I say as I talk about another one. This is from Iconic London. I actually think that Iconic London is one of those really underrated brands. They make such great products, and that's why I bought their version of this like click thing. I think this is one of those, yeah, you like twist it up. This is a beautiful color. I got it in shade Melting Touch Lip Balm in the nude. It is a beautiful color on the lips, but again, it is a little goopy. And I don't know why I keep buying these. I keep thinking that I'm gonna get the non-goopy formula. I just need to stop. I just need to stop. I like this more than the Colourpop one because it doesn't like tingle or sting at all, but not the Colourpop. It doesn't hurt, but there's some kind of a situation going on. But still, tell me in the future, call me out. I don't need any more of those. I barely like the ones I have. Like, what am I doing? This is the new Firework mascara by Maybelline. I am wearing this mascara today, but I am also wearing a half lash. This is a fine mascara. I like this mascara. I've heard a lot of people really like this mascara. This is the same type of one as the Sky High by Maybelline, but I personally prefer the Sky High a little bit more. It is a little less messy. It does lengthen and curl my lashes a little bit more, but this is still a good mascara, but I don't love it as much as the Sky High. But I think it's a really nice one. I do know a couple of people though that have this as their favorite mascara right now, so it's definitely not a bad mascara. It's just a little bit more on the voluminizing side than the Sky High, but I prefer the Sky High. But if you tried the Sky High and you wish the Sky High had a little bit more volume, this might be for you. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Contour Wand. I'm gonna put this at this position because I think this is a very close dupe to the Charlotte Tilbury one. It works exactly like the Charlotte Tilbury. If nothing else, I actually think that this one might blend easier than the Charlotte Tilbury. It is very sheer. I have mine in Fair Light, so I'm guessing there is a medium deep or something along those lines. It is very sheer. It's not cool tone like the Charlotte Tilbury, but it is very sheer. It is more like a neutral contour. It's not gray leaning, but I think that this one is a very close dupe to the Charlotte Tilbury one. If you've been wanting to try something like that, but you didn't want to spend that kind of money on it, this one from Physicians Formula, it's pretty good and it's pretty similar. I'm going to be reviewing some of the palettes later on, like I said, but I did want to include the new Glamlite and Fresh Prince and Bel Air highlighter palette here. This one is a really nice, glowy, beaming highlighter, and I really like the colors they put in here because they put in one that is cool tone, one that is warm tone, and then this lovely, more wearable peach. These are, if you go in close on the cheek, if you look at yourself in the mirror, you will be able to see some sparkle particles. It is not glittery, it is not specks like that, but it's definitely a more sparkly formula. This is your I'm going out. This is your I want the wet cheek. This is your I want the extra highlight. It is a really good quality, nice packaging. I love cardboard packaging when it's like quality cardboard packaging. Not all cardboard packaging is created equal, but also not all plastic packaging or metal packaging is created equal. This one is a nice one, and I like that it's a trio. I like that it's smaller, and I like how this one looks. Glamlite has definitely had some other formulas in the past that have been way more sparkly than this one. I feel like this is a happy middle. This is a nice, I want to get a very pop-in highlighter, but again, I don't want to look like I've been making out with the Christmas bauble. I really like this new highlighter by Colourpop, but I will say, I love being able to use my cream products under powder, over powder, mixed with powder. I want them to be versatile because I know that there are formulas out there that work regardless of where you've been with the powder. Maybe not on top of a bake, but like you get what I'm saying. This one does not work if you've been powdering your face. That I've learned that the hard way. If you've been following with all my videos, you know there's a video, I think it's the Beauty and the Beast video. I'm trying out drugstore makeup and I put this on top of powder and it just lit up like a blob of metallic that I had to sweat and blood work my way through and blend out. But if you use this before you powder your face, oh, it is stunning, beautiful. It's also like, this is 2016 is making a comeback and I am not sad. It also works to mix in with like liquid blushes if you want to make them glowy. It is a really nice product. If you've been wanting to try something like this, try it from Colourpop. It comes in 3 different shades. It's more affordable. I remember Cover FX had this and it was like $40 in 2016. I can only imagine what it would cost if they would like release it today. Are they still around? Are they still here? I don't know. But if you want to try something like this, I would recommend this one. Although I will say, I wish this had a doe foot. Why does it not have a doe foot? It's one of the mysteries of our time. This is the Buttermelt Blush by NYX, and I got this one in Feeling Butter. This is one of the glowy blushes. I think this one is really, really pretty. I will say though, I think this has almost like an awkward glow. I would like it to either be more glowy than this or less glowy than this. It doesn't look like a highlight, but it also is like, I don't know. There's something about the glow level of this one. I wanted it to be either more or less. That's a personal preference though. I think this is a fine blush. This is a nice blush. There's nothing wrong with this blush. It is pretty pigmented though, and I got one that's fairly close to my skin tone, so this was not that hard to blend out for me, but I'm letting you know it's fairly pigmented. And also it comes in mattes and shimmers, so make sure that you're getting the finish that you're looking for. These are the new Nabla Blur lipsticks. Let me see if I can just open one. Oh. This is what they look like. I do have a swatching video with these. Let's see if I can pop this in here, if I remember to send it over. These are really nice. They are like sheer. They go on sheer, but you can build them up to a full opacity. That's what I'm doing in the swatching video. These are full on matte. They feel very silicone-y and comfortable on the lips, and they are very nice. I will say though, I love the Nabla matte lipstick formula. They're so good. They have a bullet lipstick that's matte. It's such a great formula. It is absolutely amazing. And I actually prefer that one over this one. But the main reason is I never wear my lips like a sheer matte. I just don't do that. So I will always build these up. But if you're looking for a good, still silicone, but silicone in a good way, silicone-y, blurry, sheer lipstick that you can build up, these are really nice. And I did see that these were available at Ulta now. If you're like me and you're just looking for opacity and you will never wear them sheer, just go with the other matte formula that Nabla has. You will not be disappointed. It is a really great formula. And the last thing that I have in this bucket that is like the good products, but like not my favorites, is actually the Lisa Eldridge lip pencil. Hear me out. I'm not a Lisa Eldridge hater. I actually love a bunch of the stuff that she has. This is very small. This is way smaller than I expected. That's what she said. But this, I don't think I have sharpened. Oh yeah, I have sharpened this once. But it is a very small lip liner. And you don't get that much product. And let me see if I can find a lip liner that hasn't been hold. Okay, this is a new lip liner by ABH. Same here. I've only sharpened this once. And this is the difference. Why is this the difference? Again, 2015 Angie, incoming. Why do you get that much more in the ABH one? Like, I really honestly would prefer paying a little bit more and getting more, because lip liners are actually a product that I do go through, and I just think that this is too small. This is not enough product in lip liner, and I do wish it was bigger. But I love the formula, and I think this color, I think I have 0N, so I have 0 in neutral. Great neutral light beige. It's very hard to find an actual light beige lip liner. They're either pink or darker, and I think that this is a really good color. It is a smidgen small. Like, do you see this level of grease? I am gonna just powder a bit. This is Cinch Beauty Sponge and my almost done powder from NYX, but this is too much. I can't do this level. I can't do this level of grease. No. Okay, that is better. Let's talk about some products that I have here. Here are my products that I just think are great. Really, really good products. And I am actually going to mention some things that I tried from Made by Mitchell. I really think that these products were super nice. I was very impressed with the eyeshadows and the eye topper that I used. This one is the Drip Drip eye topper. I saw some people saying that it creased on them, but I used it even above my hood and it did not crease on me at all. So for me, this stayed firm and I did not have to pat out any creases. The eyeshadow is really beautiful. Is this better? than any of the other indie eyeshadow formulas that I have? Not really. It reminds me a lot of the Beauty Bay formula, and I say that in the best way possible. They're very similar in formula. I like the Beauty Bay formula. Will I buy more from the brand? Only if they release something that's very like appealing to me. I also really like the highlighter. I have the highlighter in Donuts. This is a liquid highlighter, and I really like this one too. And this one did not have a lot of sparkle in it. I know I have tried one of the liquid highlighters from before, and I think that these were like a newer formula, a newer series with like some more smooth shine and not glitter. Really good. This one in Donuts, I really enjoyed it. So there were some products from the line that I think are really good, but I definitely don't think that all of them were good. I also really think that the Makeup Revolution Bright Light Glow Drops are a really, really good formulation. This isn't necessarily a liquid highlighter. This, I would say, is a really good mixer or a really good primer, because it has this really nice, it has this really nice gel formula. On its own as a highlighter, I don't think that this does enough, but mixed in with foundation or used as a primer, it gives this really, really nice glow. And I really think this has a very sophisticated gel-like light texture. It doesn't smell overwhelming. Just when you get really close, it just smells fresh, but not too artificial. This in formulation reminds me a lot of the liquid highlighters that Fenty came out with a couple of years ago that also look like this on the skin, and they're really beautiful to mix in with foundation. But here you can get it at a fraction of the price. These are also from bareMinerals, and these I like so much better than the other like liquid highlighter things that we talked about. I'm actually wearing this today. I think I might be wearing this shade. These are, and again, I will see if I can pop it up because I did swatch these if you want to see the colors. These are some glowy, yes, I'm wearing Hope. Glowy balms. They're very comfortable on the lips. As you can see, if I hold this next to it, you can see that they're sheer but buildable, but like they're a sheer balm. So the only like critique that I would give, and you probably see that when I'm swatching them next to them here, that some of the colors are pretty similar, especially if you have some pigment to your lips. So they probably could have either released less colors or just made a bigger difference between the colors. But the formula is beautiful. They feel wonderful on the lips. They look really beautiful on the lips. I very much recommend this. And I like the packaging. They have this little ribbon that shows that they're like different colors. Like this one that's a little bit more of a purpley, oh, you can see. It turns like a sheer like grape on the lips, and it's a nice metal and it squeezes in really tight. I really like this product. I think that this one is a good product from the brand. Just avoid those liquid highlighters. They're not it. This is one of the products that I'm wearing on my skin today. I'm wearing a lot of different things, and these are the Sun Blushes by Maybelline. I'm actually wearing a little bit of this peach on my cheeks today. Okay, we're getting into products. I love all of these. I love all of these products. I think these are great products, including these from like bareMinerals. These are all great products. The only reason why this isn't number one is that this is maybe a smidgen too sheer to be like a blush and highlighter in one. These are more like a liquid highlighter with a semi-base color to give you a little hint of a blush. If you are looking for something that's a glowy blush, this might not be it. If you are looking for a glowy tinted highlighter, this is the one. They're from the drugstore. They're really, really nice, but they do not have as much pigment as like the Juvia's Place glowy blushes, for example. But if you thought that those were too much and you're looking for a sheer tint of color with glow, these will be perfect for you. They're very nice. I have this glowy orange one and I have this peach one. I like both the colors. I think they're really pretty. Again, if you wanted something that's more pigmented, I would say go with the Juvia's Place ones. They're also affordable and they really, really, really are pretty. These are the highlighters by Natasha Denona. The only reason why I'm not putting this higher is because I have this here and I've already reviewed this on my channel. The Fenty powder highlighters. These are so good. I have to force myself to not use that highlighter every day. It is beautiful. I use Yum Rum all the time. It is absolutely stunning. These are good too, but not as good as the Fenty. These are really amazing. If you cannot get your hold of the Fenty ones, or if you're afraid, because these are more like a creamy powder. They're almost I wouldn't say that these are putty, but they are so creamy that they are borderline putty. I don't know if I would be able to push my finger in. They're more like a cream to powder. They're not like a straight up putty. The ones from Fenty are a powder and they're a little delicate. So if you are worried about stuff being a little delicate, this is medium, which is the one I use the most. And also this one has a smell. It smells like Nivea. If you know, you know. And this is the light one. If you're worried that those are going to be too fragile, or if that product is really hard for you to find, if you would live somewhere that you can find Natasha Nona, this is a really, really good product. But at the end of the day, I do prefer the Fenty one over this one. But this isn't bad. If the Fenty one hadn't been released, I would have been like, oh my god, this is so amazing. But now that I know that Fenty one is around and that I do prefer that a smidgen more, I mean, I gotta be honest, that's what it is. With that being said, I'm gonna put the new L'Oreal on top of this because damn, this is good. And the only reason why I'm putting this on top, I think that these are equally pretty on the skin. This one's just more affordable. Not that L'Oreal is like a super affordable brand, but I just wanted to like tip my hat for a brand that is able to do this kind of a, it's a soft gold. It is not icy. You can see it's like a peachy gold. It is so beautiful on the skin. It is not super blinding. It is not icy. It is just giving this most amazing glow on the skin. And I cannot recommend this highlighter enough. This one I have actually been using a lot since I got this one instead of the Fenty one. It is not as blinding as the Fenty. If you're looking for something blinding, I'm gonna point you towards the Fenty one. You can build that one up until it's like an actual mirror. This is a little bit more muted, and this is the lighter color. There is a rose gold as well, but I am so impressed with how beautiful, almost like a lit from within, but you can build it up a little bit. And this like warm, almost like vanilla, but not yellow. It's like a vanilla highlighter with a sheer base. I was very impressed. But if you have this brand available to you and you want to try a nice highlighter that is not $30, $40, I recommend that one. I think it's beautiful. I've only tried this color though. I haven't tried the other one, but this one is stunning. This is the lighter one. I don't know what it's called. It's the lighter one. I think that Lawless made a really good cream blush. This is another I have a lot of products on my skin today, but I did layer a little bit of this one just to make it, so rude, just to make it a little bit more pigmented after I've been putting a lot of more peachy things on. These cream blushes are so nice. I use a brush and I dip it into the pan and I like blend it onto the cheeks, blends out effortlessly. It dries down to a non-sticky cheek. It is a matte blush, but it doesn't look dry or powdery. I actually really like this formula. This color is stunning. This color is stunning. This one is in Cherry Pie. And again, nobody shows me respect. I have a sheer layer of this on my skin and then just some glowy products above. I think Lawless makes very interesting colors. They're not like weird colors, but she has a way of making colors that are just a little bit outside of what you normally see at like Sephora. And this is like a bright reddish coral that is very interesting. And I think she made a great job with her cream blushes. And especially if you want something that doesn't stay dewy, sticky, or too creamy on your cheeks. If you need something that actually dries down so that it stays on your cheeks, this one could be for you. This is the NYX. I really like this one. This is the low-key cream. I don't know what she calls this. It's a part of her Yummy Skin. These are the ones that came out that were a shimmery finish. I got this one in low key. This is also one of the products that I have on my skin today. The only reason why this isn't #1 is that I was kind of thinking these were going to be more of a highlighter, and this again is more of a highlighter with a blush base. They're not pigmented enough to be a blush, but they're also not sheer enough to be a highlighter. There definitely is some peach to this. There is a peach base, but it is beautiful. Again, I go in with the brush here and I blend it onto the skin. It's beautiful. It does dry down, not again to a powdery finish, but to a finish that's not dewy, sticky, greasy. I love this formula from NYX. I really hope she comes out with more colors because the shimmery ones are great and I would love more colors. This peachy one is beautiful, but like I need more. I need more. I know not everybody loved the new powder foundation from Natasha Denona, but I really enjoy it. I got mine in the shade N6, which is again probably a light medium with a neutral undertone. That's usually when I get foundations. I have been enjoying this not on its own. I have been okay, that's not correct. I have not been enjoying this as a full coverage foundation. For me, it is not oil controlling enough to be that. I feel like that if you want to do a powder foundation and you have dry skin, I think this one might be for you, because if I go in with a layer that makes my skin give it like a medium coverage, this one will not be oil controlling throughout the day. I will need to babysit it a little bit. But what I will say, this one as like a fluffy brush and just a sheer layer on my skin after a low concealer, it just smooths out my skin tone, and this has been my perfect companion for the no makeup. I have been really since I got on YouTube, I've been trying to do like the no makeup because I'm the kind of person, I love doing my makeup. I think this is fun. I do this because it's fun, not because I want to be pretty. I'm already pretty. I don't do makeup to be pretty. I do makeup because it's fun. But I've been trying to embrace the no makeup and not always wanting to do 0 to 100. I want to be like a 15 sometimes. You know, I did a little and it was still fun. I want to embrace having fun with a little makeup too. Am I making sense? I feel like I need a break. What I will say, this has really been helping me with that, because it looks really good just with fluffed across the face, because it is almost like a hydrating powder. And also this one, when I have been having a pimple, when I burned my nose when I was in Orlando, this one sticks and covers on places that is like hurt skin. You know, sometimes foundations and powders and concealers, they don't want to stick to a surface that's been damaged or that is a little wet or that is like hurting skin, burnt skin. This one does. So I really think that if you are having some kind of I say word problem skin, and I mean that in your skin is never a problem, but I'm just trying to explain what I mean. If you have that, this one with just a powder puff, either the one that they are providing, or I have been using just this one. When I was burning my nose, I went in and I just pressed it on my nose and it looked smooth and it covered and it stayed there. So I definitely recommend it for that as well. I think this is really good. Maybe not the way that she marketed it, but the way that I've been using it, I've been enjoying it a lot. I was also very impressed with the L'Oreal Lumi Liquid Blush. I used this in a recent video and I've been using this quite a few times since. It is a stunning liquid blush. It is so pretty, and I kind of want to get more shades, and I actually might. This one has a doe foot, which I appreciate. And you can either use a brush from the doe foot, which I have done, or you can use the doe foot on your cheeks and blend it out. This is a sheer blush, but it still gives enough color with a beautiful golden sheen. I have this one in Glowy Gold Pink, which is an awful name for a blush color. I mean, it's very descriptive, but stunning color. Stunning color. I need more colors, and this is very easy to blend out. I will say it did lift when I had been using a lot of powders. It did lift a little bit, but since then I have been using it on top of powders, but not excessive powders, and it has not been lifting at all. I think this is a great formulation. I very much recommend this. Remember how I said in the beginning that I didn't recommend those bareMinerals ones? This is from the drugstore, and this is way better than the bareMinerals ones. If you are looking for a super glowy, almost blush and highlight all in one, get this one instead. It's way better. This new concealer by Refi very much surprised me. I'm wearing this concealer today. This is a medium coverage, somewhat self-setting concealer. It's not a creamy formula. It's not a super creamy formula. It is a little thinner, but it also self-sets. You see, it has some really good coverage, but you can see under my eyes, it doesn't 100% cover. I also don't use a lot of concealer under my eyes, but it almost, you can see, it turns matte and it sets down on itself. It blends out so seamlessly, and you have to use the smallest amount of powder on top of this, which helps if you, like me, have more mature under eyes and you don't want to use too much powders. This one is thin. It doesn't crease on me, and I have a lot of problems with some of the concealers that people really love, like the Natasha Denona one. It creases on me like it was meant to crease on me, like it was created to crease on me. This one does not crease on me with just minimal amount of powder. It looks great under my eyes for 12 hours and I've really been enjoying it. And as you can see, it dries down. I want to say it dries down pretty like matte, but not dry. It's just a really nice concealer. I've really been enjoying it. I don't think I have my perfect color. You can see this is very, very light. And I kind of want to pick up a darker color because I have been enjoying this concealer so much. I mean, it's a number 2. Let's talk about number 1. Number 1 was something that I said in my new makeup releases. Absolutely not buying this. Nobody needs this. This is unnecessary. Nobody needs this. This is the liquid bronzer by Makeup by Mario. Guys, I'm such a hypocrite. I'm such a hypocrite. This is so good. It almost looks weird in the packaging. I have been using this so much. Let me see. Oh my God, I am a mess. Let me see if I can do this on the other hand. This again is a very gel-like formula. This is sheer, very sheer. It has a beautiful gel-like formula that blends out stunning. It's almost a little wet to the formula. This is beautiful. If you, like me, are into you want to be bronzed, you want to have some definition, you want to like put some warmth, or like, this isn't too warm. You can see this is a beautiful, like warm, but still leaning a little neutral, like a bronzer color, but you don't want it to be too much. You don't like a pigmented bronzer. This is beautiful. With a brush, with a sponge, with the doe foot, because this is a 2-in-1 packaging. And you can also, like, there's a doe foot here. And you can dot the doe foot on. I've been using both sides, to be honest. Also, I have been mixing this with foundations because of how absolutely fantastic this undertone is. Like, this undertone is magic. I have been mixing this with foundations that are too light for me to get them to be my summer shade. Shut the front door. It is perfect for that as well. So I love this one as a mixer, as a bronzer, as a layering, like start with that one and then be a little bit more precise with powder bronzer. I was mean to this one because actually this fills a gap in my collection. And I think that's the thing with Makeup by Mario. If you try his products, some of his complexion products, it made no sense for my collection at all. I'm like, where am I supposed to use this? This makes no sense. And I decluttered them. And I think that like, if you can't find a space for it in your routine, it's absolutely like you don't know what to do with it. But this one, beautiful sheer bronzer, and it dries down. It dries down, but still you can see it's not flat. There's some dimension to it, but it dries down. Stunning product. Stunning product. I am eating up every bad word I ever said about this product. Please forgive me. I was wrong. You were right. I'm so happy I own it. Let me know, have you tried any great products as of late? What was your favorite product that you have tried as of late? Do you disagree with me with some of these products? I would love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you soon for another video. Bye!